السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مرحبا بكم أيها الطلاب الكرام. اليوم سنأخذ الدرس الثامن الجزء الثالث. Today we're going to take lesson 8 part 3. Move over to page 43, and in the middle of the lesson, number 6 is where we left off. We've been taking how all the things that we've learned before. We're taking how to make words possessive, where this belongs to this person or that person. We're taking mudaf and mudafun ilay. We're taking ismul ishara, lil qarib and lil ba'id. We are taking al-badal. And if you look, some of these questions from 1 to 5, those ones that all say هذا الولد, هذا الرجل, هذا الكتاب, those are all badal, just like we explained at the beginning of the lesson, beginning of lesson 8, part 1. So those things you should be able to identify by now. You should be able to do mudaf and mudafun ilayhi very easily by now. So let's continue with that. It says, لمن هذه الساعة? Whose watch is this? He said, هي لعباس. And if you remember, we said هو is a ضمير and هي is a ضمير. It means he and she. If you're talking about objects, however, it means it. And you have to use the right ضمير for the right gender. So if the object is feminine, you say هي, even though you're still saying it. If the object is masculine, you still are going to say huwa, which means he, but when you're talking about an object, it means it, and it's a masculine object. And that's why he said, هي لعباس. It is Abbas's. السؤال السابع. أهذا البيت للطبيب? He said, لا, هو للمدرس. هو. Not he is for the mudarris. It is for the mudarris. It belongs to the mudarris. Now, again, you have to learn that or know that by context. All right? السؤال الثامن. أهذه الدراجة لابن المؤذن? Look at how that sentence is constructed. أهذه الدراجة? Is this bicycle? لابن المؤذن. You don't want to say لابني, because that hamza is a hamzat wasl. That alif after the lam, it's a hamzat wasl, which means if there's a letter before it, you bypass it. لابن المؤذن. And it ended with a kasra because of the lam on ibn. Next, he says, نعم, yes. After that, number 9, he says, من هذا الولد? من هذا الولد? هو طالب من الصين. Who is this boy? He's a student from China. السؤال العاشر. Number 10. أذلك البيت جديد? Is that house new? لا هو قديم جدا, or جدا. That word جدا is always going to come in that way where it ends with fathatain. And it has, once we take a subject called al-maf'ul al-mutlaq, right? A maf'ul, something that comes in the mansub form that is general, we'll take that a little bit more. But it just basically means here, very. La huwa qadimun, it is old, and then you have the word jiddan. So the descriptions come second. It is very old. Descriptions come second, and that's why we didn't say huwa jiddan qadim. You say huwa qadimun jiddan, because the descriptions come second. السؤال الحادي عشر. هذه السيارة من اليابان وتلك من أمريكا. What does that mean? This car is from Japan and that car is from America. السؤال الثاني عشر. هذا السكين من ألمانيا وتلك الملعقة من إنكلترا. You'll find that they say England different ways. You know, they'll say Britannia, they'll say Injiliz, Ingelis. So England here is said as Inkeltarra, and they refer to the English in England. So هذا السكين من ألمانيا. This knife is from Almania, which is Germany. وتلك الملعقة, and that spoon is from England. Next section, التمرين الثالث. اقرأ المثال الآتي. Read the following example. ثم حول الجمل. Then change the sentences. Change the following sentences. مثله. So basically what we're going to do is you're going to start off with two words in the mithal. It says هذا كتاب. You look at the next word, it says هذا الكتاب لمحمد. What things did they add in that sentence? They made it معرفة, the word kitab, and then they added the lam, and they added the name of a person. So there's three things we're going to add. We're going to make it معرفة after هذا, meaning it has alif and lam, and then we're also going to make it belong to somebody by adding a lam to the beginning of that name. Number one, هذا طبيب. What are we going to do here? We are going to correct that sentence. You're not going to say هذا طبيب من الهند. You're going to say هذا الطبيب من الهند. This doctor is from India, and we don't need to add li. The next sentence, they do add li. هذه سيارة للمدير. We're going to add al. هذه السيارة للمدير. If you left it as it was, what is the meaning of the sentence? He said هذه سيارة للمدير. What does this sentence mean? هذه سيارة. This is a car. للمدير. For the mudir, for the principal. Is that what we want to say? This is a car? No. And that's why you have to add right here alif and lam. هذه السيارة للمدير. Okay? We added alif and lam. When you do this long stretch in writing in this method, it's still a scene. Okay? It's just there for speed. So we added the lam so we can say this car is for the mudir. This car is the mudir's. Okay? That's the difference when you don't have al and when you have al. That's the difference in meaning. The next questions. We're going to finish off the next questions, Sha Allah, and I think then we'll be out of time. He says here, number 3, ذَلِكَ وَلَدٌ. ذَلِكَ وَلَدٌ. How are we going to say ذَلِكَ وَلَدٌ ibn al-mudarris? Because right now, ذَلِكَ وَلَدٌ means that's a boy. We want to say that boy is the teacher's son. How do you say that? You say, ذَلِكَ الْوَلَدُ ابْنُ الْمُدَرِّسِ. Earlier at the beginning we said you add lam. Only add lam if you have to, like if you want to say it belongs to, and I think they do that themselves already. ذَلِكَ الْوَلَدُ. You have to add al here. That boy. ابْنُ الْمُدَرِّس. That boy is the mudarris's son, the teacher's son. Number 4. تِلْكَ سَاعَةٌ مِّن سويسرا. From Switzerland. تِلْكَ السَّاعَةُ. Add al again. That watch is from Switzerland. السؤال الخامس. هذا بيت للمدرس. No, we want to say this house, not this is a house. You have to add al. هذا البيت للمدرس. هذا الكتاب للشيخ. هذا القلم للمدرس. هذا الدفتر للمعلم. So this is how you attribute things. You have to say هذا, and then you add al to the word or the object you're saying, and then you add li. And in this way, you can say this is his, this is yours, this is the teacher's, this is the muallim's, okay? Next he says, هذا القلم لعباس, or هذا البيت للمهندس. هذا القلم لعباس, number 6. This pen is Abbas's. ذلك رجل مؤذن. So now we're going to say that man is a mu'adhin, not that is a man mu'adhin. So you have to say ذلك الرجل, that man, mu'adhin. That man is a mu'adhin. and it might be confusing because there's not a is in the Arabic language. So therefore you have to know that these words, they go together a certain way, and then is will just appear. Okay? So for example, it says ذَلِكَ رَجُلٌ مُؤَذِّنٌ. There's only 3 words there. By us adding al, it becomes ذَلِكَ. It says ذَلِكَ الرَّجُلُ, that man is مُؤَذِّنٌ. But is was not added, we just added al to الرجل. السؤال الثامن. هذه بيضة كبيرة. هذه البيضة كبيرة. That egg is big. All right? And I'll show you what happens when you add lam or alif lam to a word when it shouldn't be added. هذه البيضة. Right? هذه البيضة كبيرة. I'm sorry, I said that. This egg is large. Why did this become is large? What happens if we add al here and we describe the egg as being big? It becomes a description if you do that, because it's going to match in everything. See, this is feminine, that's feminine. This has alif and lam, we're going to add alif and lam, right? It's gonna, the nahw is the same. هذه البيضة الكبيرة. Does the meaning change here? Yes, it changes. This is, or this egg, هذه البيضة, this egg is big, is large. هذه البيضة الكبيرة. Now you're describing it. So this one over here means this big egg. It means this big egg. All right? Or this is the big egg. All right? It could mean both without changing anything. هذه البيضة الكبيرة. This big egg, or this is the big egg. Both of them, or this will mean both. This one here is different. This egg is big. And that's the difference here. If you make this a description by matching it with the word before it, it becomes a description. If it's this way, it's a statement. Number 9. هذا منديل وسخ. This is a handkerchief that is dirty. هذا المنديل وسخ. Add alif and lam. And السؤال العاشر والأخير, the 10th question. هذه حقيبة للمدرس. This is a bag for the mudarris? No. هذه الحقيبة للمدرس. This bag is for the teacher. Now, both sentences were correct, but what is it that you wanted to say? Did you want to say this is a bag for the teacher? Or did you want to say this bag is the teachers. And there's two different ways to say that. So نكتفي بهذا القدر ونسأل الله أن يعلمنا ما ينفعنا وأن ينفعنا بما علمنا وأن يزدنا علما وإلى اللقاء والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.